Sponsored by rxcardclub.com. Get a free prescription drug card and save up to 85% on prescription drugs. rxcardclub.com, new number 1 in this week's SEC Power Rankings. After 3 weeks of the season, the SEC boasts 7 teams at 3-0. The top half of the league is beginning to separate itself from the bottom half, and there's a clear group of contenders. There were 3 SEC games on the schedule this week, with each game featuring a road favorite. 2 of the ball games were tight contests, but Georgia and LSU came through with pivotal road wins to begin SEC play 1-0. Kentucky, on the other hand, is buried in the standings after dropping their second straight conference matchup at home. There was some reshuffling in this week's SEC Power Rankings, including a new number 1 at the top. That sound you hear is the biggest oof coming out of Starkville. Whatever goodwill Jeff Lebby had in the fan base, if there was any, just got thrown out the window. It was another poor performance for Lebby's calling card on the offensive side of the ball. The Florida Gators are simply not a good football team. They allowed the Aggies to run for over 300 yards at home, with Marcel Reed filling in for Connor Weigman. Meanwhile, Graham Mertz and D.J. Lagway combined for 3 interceptions. There are a lot of problems in Gainesville, and they won't be sorted anytime soon. The Wildcats get a bump because they had the number 1 team in the nation locked down for the majority of the game. But they don't get to jump too high after Mark Stoops opted to punt with the game on the line and just a few minutes remaining. Get more Kentucky Wildcats news, analysis and opinions on UK Wildcats Wire. The Cinderella season struck midnight on the Vanderbilt Commodores. A 22-point fourth quarter led by Diego Pavia wasn't enough to rally Vandy past Georgia State. The Commodores' run game only averaged 3.2 yards per carry. Jarquez Hunter ran for 152 yards and a touchdown to help support Hank Brown, who was making his first start for the Tigers. Brown was good, throwing for 235 yards and 4 touchdowns. The Arkansas Razorbacks got down early to UAB at home but made a strong push before halftime to tie the game. In the second half it was all Arkansas, outscoring the Blazers 17-7 to pull away for the win. Marcel Reed got the start in place of Connor Weigman and was 11 of 17 for 178 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also carried the ball 13 times for 87 yards and a score to help the Aggies get a big win in Gainesville. Texas A&M averaged 5.6 yards per carry and had 3 players run for at least 60 yards in the win. LeNorris Sellers' injury certainly took the wind out of South Carolina's sails. Robby Ashford simply isn't as dynamic as the Gamecocks' starting quarterback. Sellers had run for 88 yards and 2 touchdowns prior to exiting the game. A game-tying field goal attempt just missed in the waning seconds. Get more college football news, analysis and opinions on College Sports Wire. The LSU Tigers overcame costly turnovers and picked up a good win over a tough South Carolina team.